and welcome to episode 25 of the Yarnniffler podcast. My name is Sam. I'm a university student from Belgium. I love to knit and crochet when I'm not studying and sometimes a bit when I'm studying. So hi, welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Welcome if you're a new viewer. I like talking about all the yarny things. Everything I will be talking about will be linked down below. Just click the little arrow or show more and all the clickable links would be there. If something is not clear, please ask me, leave a comment or send me a message and I'll try to help you out. You can find me on Instagram as Sam Wyffels and on Ravelry as Yarnniffler, and I think that are all the most important things to say. For today I don't have a lot of things because I only worked on 2 projects, but I got a lot done on those 2, so I'll be telling you about those, and I have a couple of acquisitions and some knitting plans as well. Okay, let's go. So first up is what I'm wearing. I'll try to maybe if I can show you. So yes, this is it. So this is Leiden by Nathalie Sellis. This was from Pom Pom Quarterly, the 25th issue, the summer of 2018. I made size 6 and I used Holscarn Coast, held double in dark apple, and this beige is Towny Owl. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm wearing. At the moment in Belgium, we really switched from really cold days to very warm days. In the morning it's still a bit cold, but it's okay with just like a light jacket or a sweater, and these like cotton wool blend, a little bit thicker knit t-shirts are perfect to wear at this moment, because like yesterday I went out and I only wore this, and only after the sun went down I was cold, but for the rest I was warm enough the whole afternoon. Okay, then my first finished object I don't have with me, but I'll show you the progress of how it was put together. Here I took pictures and shared it on Instagram as well in my stories. So it was a leopard look by Roseanne Brigham, also Knuffel on Etsy. I'll link it all if you want to find it. I think she has patterns, so I got the Dutch one, but she also has an English one and I think a German one, maybe a French one, I don't know, definitely an English and a Dutch one. It was a very clearly made, so I made it just the size she told me to, so it was about this big. I don't think in the pictures, I don't have a picture, like sometimes you can see me holding it by hand just to take the picture, so you can see like it sits in my hand and it comes this tall. So yes, I used a 2.5mm needle and 4 colors of Schachenmeier Catania, so a 100% cotton. The white beige one is 105, the black one is 110, the brown one is 426, and the yellow is 208. Everything of that is also linked in my project page, and after this weekend also the totals of how much I use will be in that project page as well. So I made that for my cousin. It was her first communion. Yeah, I think we say that as a first communion this weekend, and I asked her mom what's her favorite animal, and it turns out it was a leopard. So I went in search of a project and I found it, and yes, the last time I showed it I think I had the head done, the body, and maybe something, and then I had like about 2 weeks to finish it. And what I did is I finished one paw in the next week, and then I needed to finish 3 paws and the tail in like 3 days, and then sew it all together. So yes, I made a bit of a competition with myself of sewing it together on Saturday evening to give it on Sunday. So I took every time I was ready sewing something on, I took a picture and then I went on, and then after I sewed it all together I put those pictures on Instagram, you'll see that, and I made like a little caption every time of what I was thinking about when sewing together an amigurumi, because if you've done this before you probably notice like, okay, one ear, it looks crooked, and then second ear, okay, it looks good, and then one leg, oh no, and then the tail maybe, and is it high enough, like one of the back legs, I sewed on twice because it just doesn't look good. And so yeah, I really wanted to show you how like my thoughts went through that. So I'll make a highlight out of that so you can see that on my Instagram as well. But normally in editing I've put all the pictures after each other, so you have seen the progress of it being knit together, sewn together here. Then I only worked on one whip because I really hunkered down on the leopard. I also had a busy week, but so I didn't really like had the knitting mojo at the moment. And my other whip is this. This is the Darren pullover by Jacqueline Cieslak from her Embody book. I am making size 4, which should give me like 0 to a little bit of negative ease. And so this is it. So you can see I am striping this. This is what I'm using, my leftovers from my Sivast MK Swiss and Turns from this year. The yarn, let me maybe tell you this first, is Issachar Alpaca 2. This red is color 21. The yellow that you see is color number 3. And this brown is E8S, is an Ecoline 100% undyed yarn. So this is 50% wool, 50% alpaca. It's very soft and pretty warm as well. So I made it on a pretty like, I don't know, it's a bit of a loose gauge for this because this is a light fingering and I use like a fingering weight gauge. So I'm using 3.5 millimeter needles and 3.25 millimeter needles for the ribbing. So I finished almost the whole body and now I'm onto the ribbing. So how does this work? You make, well, how does it work? You make, excuse me, it's a bit early in the morning here. So you make this back piece first. So you just knit until you're at a certain length and then you do these increases to shape the armhole. Then you pick up stitches at the front and you knit one front and the second front, and then you knit it all together, do a couple of more increases, and then once you finish the armhole you have to do like, I think like, what would this be, something like 20 to 30 rows. And then I have this bigger piece of red that's some short rows for my boobs, so those are bust darts. And you can completely customize those to the size you're making and your body. Then here you can see all these markers. Those are all increases. So at the size there are increases. You could do them or could not do them. You can also customize like how wide you want it at your hips, because maybe you have a different body proportion. So it's very customizable. And then maybe I try to show you at the back. So here you see like it's a more skinny stripe, and then this is a bigger red stripe. You also have a dipped hem, which like makes sure like mostly if you're wearing it, it seems flat and doesn't curl up or something. And then now I am doing the ribbing. I think, let me count, 3 views is 8. So I have 10 rows of ribbing done, so I need to do 3 more and then the bind off. And as you can see, this is not a normal rib. These are 2 kinds of rib that are alternated every row. I won't tell you those because that will be spoiling the pattern, but it gives a very nice effect. So what I did is, where you can see this stitch marker, this is, so from here until the ribbing is how much I've done in the last 2 weeks, and like mostly this is what I've done in the last week, because I was like, this is just like a little bit every day, and then the last couple of days I've done this just because I was so busy with the leopard and seeing some friends and just reading. I've also been reading, so I didn't really like went for this one. I think that's all I wanted to say about this. I am also planning on making just the shirt version, also in kind of a striping pattern. I've bought a big cone of linen that's very thin, and if I use 6 strands of that, I get the same if I would use 4 strands and 1 stripe of another linen. So it would be a marled, but like a rainbow marled shirt with like a grey undertone. But I'll definitely show you that swatch once I want to start it. But I think I still have the sleeves to do, so I'll have to pick up into this. So this is also, I did a bicep adjustment. Maybe I'll try to show you. So if this is like this on top of my shoulder, and then here you can see that it fits very perfectly, but because I was making a smaller size, it would be a little bit too snug. So I did a bicep adjustment to make this bigger, and then now I'm doing also a sleeve adjustment because I did a bicep adjustment. So I'll be picking up stitches to make a sleeve cap, and then go from there on knit the rest of the sleeve. So I'm like looking forward to just like picking up these stitches that I can just knit the rest of the sleeve. I'm thinking I'll probably start both sleeves because I only have so much yellow left. So what I have left is, let me show you. So the yellow was my contrast color, and then the two main colors were this red and this brown. So that was what I had the most left over. I just got into the last ball of red for those dipped hem, so I'm completely sure sleeves it will be enough. I think I have about half of this yellow left over, and then I have a full brown one. I think this is maybe 10 grams of one that I've been using, and then I found one in my stash. So yes, I'll definitely have more than enough brown. I really wanted the yellow at the cuff, and now I just need to decide which color I want around the neck. I would think I would be going for yellow, but I'm not sure I have enough, so maybe I'll first do the sleeves and see. But most of it is, this is here at the back it's red, and at the front it's also red. So what comes above red is brown, so maybe the edging will just be brown. I don't know, it's not a very big edging, so yeah, I'll see. I'll first do the sleeve and then do the neck edging to make sure. I think if I don't have enough of the yellow and I can't like make full length sleeve, I will go for 3/4 length. I'll see how far I get, but like this yarn is getting me further than I thought. So I'll definitely see, like as you can see, there's not that much yellow in here. Like the yellow is half of one of these stripes. So yes, I'll think I have enough, and we'll see. If I don't have enough, I can always like maybe stop with the yellow, stripe both ones just for the rest, and then do the cuff in yellow for a pop of color. That could be good. So what I'm trying to say is like go until I almost have no more yellow, and then just stripe the brown and the red one, and then do a cuff in yellow. That could be also an idea, but we'll see once we get there. Okay, those were like my FO and my whip. I also have like another summer shirt in this kind of yarn. I haven't worked on it. A pair of socks, I haven't worked on it. But now that this is getting to like a 100 point, because I first have to pick up the sleeves, and it's gonna be a little bit busy the next 2-3 days. I probably don't have time to pick them up at this moment. So I'll just do that a couple of days later and work on some of my other whips. Then I have a couple of acquisitions to show you. First off, I got a Mrs. Brown's bag. So let me see, maybe here. So this is the card that I got, which also will, I don't know if you can really see, but I have a complete photo wall over there, and I also have some pictures and cards over there, so I'll just put it next to it. And then I finally got one. I was so excited about it. It's come from Canada, so yes, I had to pay customs on it, but okay, that happens. But this was a birthday present to myself. So this is always how this works. She gets fabrics printed with knitting on it. So as you can see, this is just a swatch that they photograph and then print, and then they make bags from it. It's just lined with this neutral color, and you have a drawstring to close it, but also you have handles. So this is just handy to like use as a half purse sometimes. Just throw in your keys, your phone, and your project, and you're ready to go. The color way that's on here is Pillow Talk, but I don't know from which dyer this is. But yeah, she has some sporadic updates because somebody else is sewing her bags at the moment. That's Jodie from the Crochet Girls, if you didn't know, because she's yarn dyeing with one of her daughters. And yeah, it's just, I really wanted this one, and now it was like, okay, just just a birthday present to myself, and that's it. Then I have 2 more acquisitions I want to show you, and this is this one and this one. So in Belgium and the Netherlands, there's a group started on Instagram that's called Ons Garenschuurtje. So it means our yarn barn, like schuurtje means our little yarn barn. So it's an Instagram account, and you can send pictures of your stash with like all the information about, I have so many balls of this yarn in this colorway and I would like to sell it for a smaller price. So it's about secondhand selling. And I got this Zauerball. So this is a Zauerball Crazy by Shuffle. So this is what is this? This is a German brand, I think, and I've been very interested in it. And yeah, there was one on there and I was like, okay, I really want this. And yeah, it was a reasonable price. Like I paid the same if I would buy a new one, but I paid this with shipping included. So I got it secondhand, but like with shipping included, it was the same as a new one, but it got secondhand. Somebody else is not using it. And yeah, it's this blue one. I also want like a couple of more crazy ones with like more different colors, but I was like, this blue one I'm gonna get you. Yeah, because I really like blue, and I'm just probably gonna make some simple socks and then see what I can do with the leftovers. And then from another seller I got this. So this is let me try to show you. Fair Isle Weekend. Sorry, Fair Isle Weekend by Mary Jane Mucklestone. So maybe if you like see this. So let me maybe read you the back. Fair Isle Weekend takes you to Shetland, to the windy islands of Fair Isle, famous for its colorwork knitting. Mary Jane Mucklestone's book includes an enchanting collection of knitting patterns from small wristwarmers all the way to vests and sweaters. Yeah, so there's a lot of beautiful pictures in it, like from the patterns that there are there. I think they're probably all somewhere on one of the islands that they're taking the pictures. Like this one, there are very clear instructions and like charts to work them. I'll try. So I'm like thinking about making some Fair Isle, like just a picture. This book just has so many beautiful pictures in it, and also got it secondhand. And yeah, even if I like don't make anything out of it, I'm just so happy to just look in this, get inspiration. Yeah, it also has like some information about Shetland and the Fair Isles, and yeah. So I'm trying to see, yeah, the wrist warmers. Like, look at this. Just look how beautiful this is. So yes, so I got this as well secondhand. This is by Liner Publishing. So it is a hardcover, very good quality, and it's just also like a coffee table book next to just some knitting patterns. And yeah, I really like colorwork, but sometimes I want to like put in another colorwork pattern in something, like, and this I can perfectly use as the template. Say, okay, I have this colorwork motif of say 20 stitches, and I look, and this sweater has this also, so I know that fits perfectly and stuff. So yeah, I need to look to it completely to like pinpoint which one I want to make, and then just get what I want. So those were my knitting acquisitions, and I also got like one sewing acquisition, and I don't know where and this is this fabric. This is a linen fabric, and I'm going to make a skirt out of this, and I'm searching. I thought I put the picture of the pattern here, but I don't, so give me a second and I get it. Okay, so I didn't put it here. So I got the Estuary skirt, I think. So by So Liberated. So these are the possibilities. So I will be making one that's about this length, and it has pockets, but it has inseam pockets. I don't really like the patch pockets on top. And from from the same company, so from So Liberated. I also have another pattern that I bought. Yeah, it's so I'll show you in a second. Wait. I also got the Hinterlanders, which has been a hype in the knitting community. So yes, I'll also be making one of these, but first I bought my first linen. I'll make this skirt, and then once I get more into it, I'll probably make a couple of versions of these ones. But as you can see, these are the complete instructions, so that's very good. And I also, wait a second, I want to show you this. Yeah, I will not unroll it, but you can print at home, but I don't have a printer at my student dorm, and I needed to print this here, so I could choose to just print it at the print shop just on A4 and then tape it all together, or just pay that little extra and print it on A0. So this is very big. It has all the sizes on it, so I just traced it on those pattern tracing paper, and now I'll be using that one for that size of skirt. But if I want to lengthen it, I can just trace it again and use that. And I can also, like, I know this size, maybe I want to change the size next time, I can just trace it again, and then I don't have to print it again. And it is on very sturdy paper, it's like some kind of poster paper, so yeah. And for the Hinterlanders, I will do the same, so I'll probably like accumulate a couple of patterns. I also want to make a top, so I'm really like into making my own wardrobe. So how I got to this sewing is I am volunteering at Maakbaar. Maakbaar is in Leuven something. They have a tool library, so on some days you can just go and loan some tools, like you go at library and go for some books and then bring them back. Say like you need something, a saw or a screwdriver, some sort you don't have, you can go there, just with your card, take it out and then take it back. And I also next to that have a textile lab, and there they do once a week they do 2 or 3 hours of sewing. So that's what I'm gonna do. Last week I just got to tracing all of the pattern pieces and cutting it out. So this week I'll be just cutting out my patterns. Oh yeah, I also have a spool of thread and some elastic to put in the waist. So this one is here as well. So then I'll think maybe in a couple of weeks I'll have a finished skirt, but I think once I start sewing it will go pretty quickly because they're very big pieces. So they're not like 20 pieces or something. I think they're 5 or 6, like just for the skirt and then for the buttonbands and so on. The buttonband and the waistband. So it's, and the pockets. I can't forget those pockets. So yeah, I'll do that. But there are, like, I can sew perfectly on a sewing machine, but there are people there that are more experienced than me, so they can help me. So that's on Thursdays, and on Fridays they have every other week they have crocheting and knitting. So one week it's knitting, the next week is crocheting and then knitting again. So if I have time, I am there, and then I am there as a volunteer to really help people. So we were with about 5 people, I think, last week, and one of them was working on moss stitch and something went wrong. She was like, "Can you help me?" So I just unraveled a bit and then fixed it up again. Somebody else wanted to learn the Norwegian purl, so I learned that. Wanted to learn the Norwegian cast on, so I learned, and that, like, they're all older ladies, very friendly. I'm like completely in my element there. But if they have questions, I'm just a little bit more knowledgeable because I used Ravelry and the internet more than they do. But that's very nice. Somebody was like, "Oh, I want to make this kind of pattern." I was like, "Oh, let me pull up Ravelry and give you some ideas, and then we can look in some Dutch patterns if you find what you want." But if I know, like, you want this summer top with like a big strap, okay, we need a big strap. Like, what's a big strap for you? A white one or not? So that's what I did. What did I do as well? So those were most of the knitting talk, and then I want to tell you, oh, I have one more thing that I want to tell you about. One of my plans, next to like a complete basket, like I can show you. I have this. This is completely filled with project bags and yarn, ready to make some other projects, like some sweaters, some shirts. I just have this here because that was all at home, and then I was at I was here, I was like, oh my god, I want to make something and I don't have stuff here. So I now have options here. I have options at home, so I can always knit on what I want to. But another idea I have, and you'll probably be a little bit horrified, some of you, but this is my rainbow dress. This is Uli by, let me make sure, Kristin Jessa. So this is a dress I made in November. I will have finished it. It will be 2 years, so I have it a year and a half now. Let me try to show you. So this is yarn dyed by Jude of Stranded Dye Works. This was one of their Bride collections I got in my first year of university. So this is a very, very expensive dress because this is all hand dyed yarn. And I love this dress, but because it's hand dyed and super wash, it's has stretched. So maybe if I can show you, like, this is where my body ends and this is how much of positive ease I have at both sides. And then also, yeah, so I really like a little bit more a fitted top and then a looser skirt. So my idea is to take this out, like wash and hang the yarn to like get the kinks out, because yeah, after so many months in a knitting project, and then I'll be making another dress with it. I really want a dress with this yarn. I want a statement dress. This is a rainbow dress. I want it to make me happy, and when I'm wearing it, this one, I am not that happy with it. Just like I am and I am not. I don't feel completely comfortable in it because it just doesn't really work with my body shape and stuff. So I'll be making, and also this is not a size inclusive dress. If I wanted to make this again with like the right yarn and recommended gauge, because I tweaked it a bit, I would not fit into the size range. So I don't want to promote this dress for that as well. So I want to make the Stumble dress by Lydia Morrow, and that has a very negative ease body, a regular negative ease body, and then a very loose skirt where you have multiple shaping options. I'll put in 2 pictures here of her dress. She has made 2 of them, a short one and a longer one. So I think I just I need to have a look at the pattern, make my decision which kind of skirt I want. I have all the calculations from this one still, so I know exactly how much yarn one stitch takes. So I'll probably do the same thing, work out how many rows I want, how many rows I need, so I can make again, I can fade it again, because maybe if you're new here, if you haven't seen this, this is faded. So as you see here, there are 12 rows here that I just alternate them to fade them, to just let them go over each other better. So I'm thinking about just doing that again because it looks very good on this one. And as you all have seen in the picture, I think it will look beautiful on that one. And also it will be a little bit of a bigger gauge. So I don't know, I think it's pretty much the same gauge as I had. I also, after wearing this a couple of like multiple times, I can definitely measure this to have an idea about my gauge as well. I also got the advice to maybe put it in the dryer like this, completely dry, to make it shrunk up, and I think, yeah, that will probably work. But for how long will it be able to stay like that and not stretch out again? So if I have a very close fitting top with maybe negative ease, even if it stretches a bit, it can be like this one with a bit of positive ease, but not oversized. Like, I like the oversized stuff as well, but not in this dress form. So that's what I'm thinking about doing with this one in like a couple of days. Like in 2 or 3 weeks, we have like on Thursdays and Friday off because it's a bank holiday, so I'll probably do it then. But I wanted to show you it for the last time. I'll probably take some pictures because I have pictures from when I just finished it, but don't really at the moment. So take some last pictures and then go for something else. Okay, this is the last piece of knitting I wanted to talk about, a big piece, because that's almost 700 grams of yarn, so yes, it will be a lot of knitting. And I've been umming and ahhing about it, but I've worn this dress only a couple of times, and in the beginning I was so excited about it, and now I'm still excited because I knitted this complete dress in these colors. But yeah, it's not my style anymore, and it's like I can get so much more enjoyment out of it if I just take it out, knit this again, take it slow. Like this one, it was a very slow knit. But it's also an easy knit because it's just, at one moment, it's just constantly knitting and round and stockinette. So that's also an easy knit because like you don't have to change yarns, increases, decreases and stuff. So it's perfect for cinema knitting, conversation knitting. So I'm like, how soon can I start this? But I'll definitely take the time to skein up the yarn and like get the kinks out of it, and then cake it up and then go for it again. I'm very excited about that. Then, so that's all the knitting, my plans. We'll see what I'll get done in the next 2 weeks. I've done a lot of reading this week, seen a lot of friends the last 2 weeks, so yes, maybe I'll tell you a bit about that now. So I was busy with schoolwork and just normal work. I've told you about that before. I'm working as well 1 or 2 days a week at this moment, so yes, it's been a bit busy. Then I had 2 kind of balls, like a gala. This is like a normal party, but you go very fancy dressed. It's completely thin. So I'll put in a picture here of the first one. So that was on Friday after the last time I talked with you. I was at this party, so we just like, it was so nice. We had a lot of fun, danced a lot. I think I had almost 40,000 steps from that day and that night. So yeah, perfect day. And then that was a Friday. Then on Saturday I woke up and I went to a textile swap. So what this was is from Magbar, where I'm volunteering for the sewing and editing. They had a textile swap, and normally I'm not here in the weekend in Leuven, but like very fortunately I was here and it worked out perfectly. So what is it? You brought in clothes and you got points for them, and then on Friday evening, and then on Saturday, all the clothes from that were brought in by everybody, you could browse them and say like, oh, I like this shirt, I have so many points, and you just like, you buy them with your own points. So you could also like use your money, but it was so much easier. Just, I also brought in some clothes and I got a beautiful blue dress, which you will see in one of the next pictures. I got a long black skirt, a cute like just little vestige over my blue dress, and a nice blouse as well. So that was very nice. I also got a ring. Where is it? I think it's here. Yes, I got this ring with this like this swirly bit. Fits perfect with my watch. So that was like, okay, perfect. And so I was volunteering that as well. So I was also helping people, checking them out, putting, like, we had so many clothes that not everything fit on the rack. So every couple of hour, like every half an hour to an hour, we had new clothes to put back. So yeah, that was very nice. Then on the Sunday of the day, I had a full day of competitions. So the Belgian Championship for Cano Polo, we're in the 5th division. We're probably at the bottom of the list because we've lost everything, but that's completely fine. We're just getting expertise. No, we're just trying out. We're seeing how it goes. We're learning a lot of stuff. It's with a couple of younger girls. It's a full girls team, so that's also very nice. We play against older people, more advanced people who've been playing longer. The girls are sometimes a little bit scared, which I understand completely, because if somebody is just like pedaling full speed at you, I would be scared as well. So yeah, but it was a very fun day. It was a bit hard because like, you have 4 games, you need to be a referee at sometimes. We drove there for an hour, we drove back, but that's the reason why I still stayed in Leuven, because from here it's an hour driving, and would I be at home, it would be 2.5 hours. So I have another friend who studies here as well, who plays in the same club as me. We have different teams, so we were together, and yeah, that was perfect. I got that. Then I also had a workshop for a biosphere. Give me a second, I'll show you. So here it is. So what I did is I got this workshop, and you pay for it and you get all the materials as well, and you make this. So you have this glass jar, and then you can see at the bottom these I think they're clay stones, which make your water layer. Then you have a layer of soil, and then you have moss, and then you plant. Maybe I can show it you this way better. I don't know. You plant some things into. I have a fern, and then I don't know how the other plants are called. They're all the same species, but like they all have different greens and hues of pink. So yes. And then you need to close it, and then it forms its own water cycle. So it's its own biosphere. So what happens is like now, I don't know if you can see here, there's condensation on it. So the water vaporizes, you get condensation, and then later on the day it just drips down again. So it has its own water cycle, but we gave it an amount of water, but now we have to find out if it's the perfect amount. So mine is like at the moment a bit open like this. It stands on the shelf there because it's completely, most of the time now it looks good, it's completely condensated. You can see through it, but it's completely condensated. And so now I just have to find out what's the perfect amount of water that it needs. So I think maybe now I can try again to close it and see after a couple of days if it's still completely condensated, because it needs to condensate like 1 or 2 hours a day to get this water cycle going. So yes, but I really love how it looks, and it's growing, and yes. So I have this one, and also I have a lot of plants. I won't show you because it's a bit of a mess there, but I have a monstera which is getting 3 new leaves, which I'm so excited about because this is like the perfect environment for my monstera. I repotted it, gave it some plant food, and now it's like growing. I'll put this back and show you what I have else I want to show you. I also have a new monstera, which I got 3 weeks ago. I think I talked to you about that on the last episode, and I did another workshop how to take care of plants, how to repot them, and this is the one. So I have the normal monstera, I can like these very big leaves, and then I have one like this, and we took one cutting, and I don't know, as you can see here, this white one is a root that's forming. So it's just in this phase, also like next to the biosphere, next to the other plants, and just growing roots, and then I have more plants everywhere. That's the idea, right? I'll put this one here and put it back later. So yes, I'm very keen on plants, on greenery, and like how much joy I get out of this monstera that's getting 3 leaves. Like, oh my god, it's getting a leaf, and on another place as well. And then yeah, so much enjoyment. So yes, I'm just looking at my plant, sorry. And I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Maybe a bit random this last bit, like not a lot of knitting, but I can talk for a long time if you want me to. I see it's almost 40 minutes, so let's see what editing does to this. So I'll edit this, and then I'm off. I'm going with Magbar, so where I'm doing the sewing, the knitting, the volunteering. We're going somewhere where they're selling secondhand clothes, and we are there to just help sew up little cuts, maybe just help preparing things that people bring in or want to buy, but there's something wrong with it, and maybe we can help them. So I'll go there, and then from there I'm going home. Normally not home, I'm going to Kortrijk, where I studied the last 2 years, and at the campus from the university there's a small festival where we're going. So yes, and then I'm seeing some friends that I haven't seen for a year, so it's gonna be a busy weekend, but also I'm gonna like it. I'm also going to a vintage sale that's like on Kilo, so you it's based on how much your clothing weighs. That's how much you pay. I'm going with a friend here in Leuven on Sunday, so I'll talk to you about that all next time, and hopefully I have maybe a little bit more of knitting to tell you. But this is normally how it goes. I'm more monogamous, have 1 or 2 projects on the go, and then the other ones go to the wayside, and then I turn to a monogamous knitter on those ones. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I think that's everything. I hope to see you next week, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks. And I hope you enjoyed watching and had some knitting time. Bye!